Like I won't skip out on my training. If something is on my training plan, I'm doing that. Like, that's just discipline for me. So that could be regardless of the sleep that I got or the mindset that I have, or have I eaten or not. Like, I'll be in the pool until 8 p.m.
I'm a super dedicated person once I set my mind to something. So yes, I have to get to the gym. I know it's going to take 2 hours. It kind of brought a little bit of peace, I think, because before that it was like, man, am I enough? Like, is this good enough? Like, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
So then I think I enjoyed training more because I was less stressed about, like, am I good enough? I'm like, okay, you're good enough. Now you just want to, like, show up and be good.
Right.
As opposed to being worried about it.
Like, I just did really well at the RX competitions without, like, much training. And at that point, I was only taking classes. And so I'm like, well, if I started, like, doing just a little bit extra after classes, like, working on my weaknesses, like, then I would be even better.
Brooke Wells, the third and final addition to our CompTrain Queen Absolute Beast episodes. Today's episode is all about Brooke Wells, how she came from being one of the youngest athletes to win a regional and qualify for the CrossFit Games. I'm going to tell you guys why I think Brooke Wells is an absolute beast.
I mean, I had the opportunity to run track at the University of Central Arkansas, but that's when I decided I wanted to focus on CrossFit. I mean, I wasn't like great at track. Like, I wasn't going to be like the best in the college or whatever. It was just going to be like loved, and I loved CrossFit. And so I knew I wouldn't like it, and that's kind of why I decided to just pursue CrossFit.
First time I met Brooke was at Noble. She's a Noble athlete, and I'm part of Noble, and was a really eye-opening experience for me for how coachable she was. We were there with a bunch of different athletes, but she was the sponge. She was the one that, as I gave her critical feedback, was so eager about the critical feedback. There was never well, yeah, but this is the way I do it. It was all just the opposite.
At just 24 years old, Brooke Wells is sponsored by some massive CrossFit companies like Noble, Complex, Beam, Whoop, and GoWOD Mobility. She's one of the top performers when we look at CrossFit and one of the biggest athletes to come out of the CompTrain program. But let's look at her stats. Let's just look exactly how strong, how fit Brooke Wells really is. Just 24 years old, 5'6", and 150 pounds body weight, Brooke lifts a massive 425-pound deadlift, 345-pound back squat, 140-pound press. She clean and jerks 255 pounds, snatches 215, and she's had 5 CrossFit Games individual appearances. Brooke Wells made a name for herself at the 2015 Central Regional, which she won at just 19 years old. This was her first individual regional appearance. In 2014, she competed with the Team 540 Beefy of CrossFit 540 at the North Central Regional. She went on to take 16th in her debut CrossFit Games appearance in 2015. She reproved her ability in 2016, taking 3rd at the Central Regional, but catapulting to a 6th overall finish at the Games, with 6 top 5 finishes and 1 event win in the Ranch Deadlift ladder, pulling a massive 415 pounds. This chick nearly has a bigger deadlift than I do. She also took a win in the 2018 handstand walk event. So Brooke Wells got 2 event wins under her belt, 5 CrossFit Games appearances. Is there really anything else to say about this woman? And she's damn good looking. I've had many people request a Brooke Wells episode, so here you go. Let's look at her past. Brooke was born on the 14th of July, 1995 in Missouri. She and her twin sister, Sydney, were super competitive from a young age. They wanted to know who was the smartest, who was the fastest, who was the biggest, who was the best, and who was the better sister. From a young age, their parents pressured them into many sports, softball, dance, and gymnastics, but they took up competitive gymnastics at a young age and competed alongside each other at gymnast competitions. However, Sydney was a little bit better than Brooke. At their very first competition, Sydney took first. Brooke didn't care about beating any other girls. Brooke didn't care about her own ability. All she cared about was winning against Sydney. In grade 9, both the girls quit gymnastics to pursue track in high school, both taking up the 400-meter run. However, once again, Sydney was faster than Brooke. Brooke swapped races from the 400-meter run to the 300-meter hurdles. She also competed in the 4x100 and the 4x400. When she lived in Oklahoma, she ran the 4x200. Brooke did track throughout high school for 4 years until she found CrossFit. Brooke started CrossFit initially because the gymnast training that she used to do throughout her primary school years, she really enjoyed the volume, but found that track was a little bit too easy, making her a little bit lazy. She did CrossFit because it would add volume to her training and she enjoyed the constant variance. She thought that CrossFit would help her get better at track. Brooke enjoyed the constant variance so much of CrossFit that she decided to compete. Brooke's first taste of competition was in her local area, doing a local scale competition and taking first. She did a few other competitions but kept it pretty low key. In 2015, Brooke qualified through the Open for the Central Regional, and as we all know, she won the Central Regional with a first place finish in her very first event. No one knew who Brooke was before she came in, but after the Central Regional, the only name that they spoke was Brooke Wells. Now we know a ton of useful information about Brooke. Here's some more useful information that you guys could use. Brooke's favorite food is oatmeal. Brooke likes skillet and cookies with ice cream for a cheat meal. Brooke also enjoys having protein with her oatmeal because she enjoys the chocolatey taste. She also has a degree in business, but you guys aren't here to hear all that ramble. Let's see more of Brooke. Brooke has a YouTube channel. She has a few older videos on her channel that I would like to break down in a bit of detail because who doesn't like watching raw Brooke? Let's start off with the video number 1, which is her 195 pound snatch. Alrighty, so this is her 195 pound snatch video, and let's have a watch here. Ooh. Like, it was rough, but she still got it. Let's have another watch here of that, just to get a real good picture. I think for a moment she like looks at the bar. Nice over position of the bar. It's a good catch, but she does jump back a fair amount. But when she looks at that bar, it gives me bloody anxiety. It reminds me of a younger Tyler missing a snatch. Alrighty, 250 pound clean and jerk, here we go. Ooh, she gets out of that. A little bit rough. Let's watch the jerk. Pretty easy, pretty easy. You know, not perfect, but it's close to your 1RM, so what do you expect? Third video is of a competition called the Fittest Games, and it is a workout which I don't know how many rounds, I couldn't find how many rounds, but it is 42 double unders, 21 burpees, and 7 muscle ups. So it's not Brooke's best. So let's have a watch here. Now, my little big dig with workouts that include burpees is that you can see from both of these ladies doing the workouts that there's no real standard for burpees. Like, how high do you stand up? how do you get your hips open? Like they need to have like a 6-inch touch or like a ring jump touch just to make these athletes jump. Like they're not doing anything personally wrong. It's just because they're trying to go fast that there is going to be a little bit of misconduct with the repetitions. But it's like one of those things, like, you know, if you're going to program burpees, make there a standard that's universal across the board. Like, you know, locking out your hips or making it noticeable, because these ladies are just literally getting up and down. Like I have most of these reps, I don't even see Brooke jump. No offense to her, but there's like zero jumping. I think one of the comments of the video was like, nice, getting lazy on the jump, Brooke. Anyway, let's move on to the final and the most impressive workout of the 3. So these kind of workouts get me a little bit upset, because big athletes, not only Brooke, this is not just Brooke, like all athletes, Katrin, and you know, like your top games athletes, they have these like high quality videos from Instagram, like amazing photos. They have YouTube channels with people following them. And then they use absolute potatoes of cameras like this one. Like if you look at the timer, which it's gonna be hard to see because she's in front of it, but the time is backwards in the video. The quality is super blurry, even though this is sped up 800 times. Just small things. As a content creator like myself, you guys would absolutely fucking roast me if my video looked like this. If I was literally 144p, like, hi guys, my name's Tyler, and my face is just like fucked up. Like, you guys would be pissed off with that. So, but then these athletes get away with it because it's a video for the judges. Like, poor judge trying to count any of these fucking reps. Like, he can't even see the bloody video. Regardless, that's not the point. Enough about the commentary. She absolutely annihilated this workout. This is 19.2, where she got 14 minutes and 20 seconds. She finished the workout before I even started my 4th fucking round, pretty much. As you can see, her moving quite easily through these cleans, and as she has admitted that cleans are one of her favorite movements. So this is just a true display of athleticism, and we saw Rich Froning take the win with like 15:58, but she knocked that time off by an entire minute and a half, which is insane. And I think she's coming into her final round right now. I think this is her last round of cleans. So these are the heavy barbell cleans, or they'd be like something like 90 kilos, 95 kilos, something like that for women. So she's moving them pretty well. Short breaks, back on the bar. It's fucking bullshit, man. It's fucking bullshit. And how many fucking girls are at that gym as well? Fucking hell. So that's reviewing Brooke Wells' workout videos. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let's move on. Brooke Wells' favorite movements include hang cleans, handstand push-ups, and handstand walks, saying that being on her hands is something that's super enjoyable as she was a previous gymnast. She also enjoys the feeling of bouncing hang cleans off her thighs, and she thinks it's pretty fun. Her least favorite movement is muscle-ups, and in an interview with This Is Oklahoma, she said, and I quote, she reckons that she could go the rest of her life without doing another muscle-up. She would be nice and happy. Brooke Wells' father is also an absolute beast. Look at this guy, he's freaking jacked. No wonder where Brooke gets all her strength from. Now that you've found out a little bit more about Brooke, how can you personally go and find more information about the amazing, the awesome, the beautiful Brooke Wells? Well, Brooke has plenty of content out there. Not only is she one of the top CompTrain athletes with plenty of CompTrain videos on her, she also has her very own CompTrain podcast. She does an episode with Patrick and Ben Berger, and it's a great episode. I'll leave links down below. She also does a podcast with Julie Fouche and Mark Bell, as well as This Is Oklahoma. All these links will be down below if you want to listen to more about Brooke. As we know, Brooke has tons of awesome sponsors like Noble. She also has things like Whoop, Go Mobility. She does a great documentary with Noble. It includes Katrin and Tia Claire Toomey. My final thoughts on Brooke Wells. Brooke Wells is one of these phenom athletes that just kind of came out of nowhere, and then all we heard was Brooke. I've had a ton of requests to do a video about Brooke, and I can definitely see why. She's one of the more interesting athletes out there. She has one of the bigger Instagram followings out of the top athletes, and she does post a lot of interesting content. Also very good eye candy for us men. Now, I did send a message to Brooke Wells, but she never ended up replying, so unfortunately I wasn't able to get a video out of her. I believe Brooke Wells is one of the stronger athletes, and with her win in the ranch deadlift ladder, it could really pave that way to see in the future what Brooke Wells can do. She's always been in the top 20 of the Open, and she's always one of the most consistent female athletes to come out of America. She does, however, live in Katrin's shadow, but she loves Katrin to death, having some of her favorite athletes that she's looked up to being Camille Bazinet-LeBlanc and Katrin Davidsdottir, and now some of these girls are her best friends. And she's definitely going to pursue CrossFit further into the future, just being 24 years old. The question is, what's next for Brooke Wells? Did you guys enjoy the video? Anything else you want me to add? Anything else that I forgot? Leave it in the comments down below. Who do you want to see next on the Absolute Beast series? Once again, leave it down below. Follow me on Instagram, and I hope you guys stay a beast.